Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last video, we went ahead and made the armor and accessories for Leon. And in this one, we're going to go ahead and make his gloves. So, let's go ahead and save our work. File, save as. This is going to be Leon 14. And then the first thing I want to tackle is his hands over here. He's got little baby hands. So I'm going to go into my top view, go into, grab my mesh, go to vertex selection. And I'm going to select through the hand, like so. I'll hit B to turn on soft select, and I'll adjust my radius so that I get about this far into the arm. You can see the little red trail. I'll go into my front view, hit my scale button, and then I will middle scale this. And it helps if you're farther out so you can kind of see the hand size relative to the body. And I think that's better. Maybe a little bigger. And I'll move it forward some, just so it's not so bunched over here. I'll go to my perspective view. Let's take a look here. Maybe adjust it. Okay. I'm going to go get object mode. Let's jump into sculpting. Let's get my smooth brush, and then I'll get my tools. I set my smooth brush to about 40, so on the strength there. I don't need the settings. Adjust my brush size, and I'll go ahead and just smooth out this bump in the arm. Just kind of go around and do that. Okay. While I'm at it, I also want to go ahead and start smoothing out the fingernails and the knuckles. So I'll jump over here, adjust my brush size, and take some of the jaggedness out of the knuckle. Now again, I'm using small strokes here. That way I'm not doing too much change. So if I go up and just do like a little adjustment, each one of those makes a record, and I can always just hit Control Z to undo if I do one that I don't like. Check different angles, make sure it looks okay. Leon's knuckles are looking a little bit flat here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my pull brush. I'll go over the knuckle and just kind of pull up a little bit. Okay. On the fingers, you can see how the thumbnails are very sharp and flat. That's not very natural. You can see this one even kind of bends inward. So I'll adjust my brush size here. Get my pull brush. And I'm just going to start pulling the nail down on the sides here. Go to the other side, kind of pull the nail down. Then I can smooth around it. Round off that nail. My brush size adjustment. I'll go and get the front of the nail. I'm using the smooth brush here, holding shift and smoothing. And that's looking a little bit more like a fingernail. Okay. To round off the top of the nail, you can use your pull brush and just kind of pull it up and then smooth it. That's an option. Another one you can use is the inflate brush. So if I come up here, this one with a little bubble on top, that's the inflate. If I grab that, let's go check our tool settings. I've got mine set to 0.05, but you can always dial that up to something bigger, maybe like a 0.8. I think the default is 0.2. And if I were to drag across, you can see that I am inflating that nail. And that allows you to kind of get that bubble in the middle of your nail. Take a look at your nail. Your nail bends, it bows, right? Now the bow doesn't have to be too high. I think this is probably fine. And then I'm going to rinse and repeat that procedure on the other fingers. So I come over to here, adjust my brush size, get my pole brush. I'll just adjust the nail. We're going to check your camera angles. That's really going to help you on this. And just be aware of the anatomy. You should know that this fingernails don't do that, right? That's not right. Fingernails also don't do this, so don't do that. Be very aware of what you're doing, and you should be fine. Use my smooth brush. I can hold down Shift to actively smooth without having to go grab it, so pretty handy. I'll round off this nail. Adjust my brush size so I can really get in here. It's better. I'm going to rinse and repeat along the other fingers. Now, as you're working, you might notice that your other fingers are blocking what you're working on. So a quick tip is to select what you want and then hide the rest. So I'm going to go into my top view here. I'm going to go into face selection. So hit Q to turn off my tool, go to face selection. Turn off soft select by hitting B. And I will select my middle finger. Okay. Now I only want to see my middle finger, so I'll do Control-Shift-I. That's going to invert my selection, and then I can press H, and that's going to hide everything else. Cool. Now this is a face that I ended up missing. Don't worry about it. Your model is not gone, it's just hidden. So leave that there. That's pretty important. Go ahead and make my adjustments here. And it's good to do this from different angles so that you can get the most accurate result. Get my inflate brush, I'll inflate a little bit along the middle here. Do a little bit of smoothing. Adjust my brush size and work this fingernail. Okay. Once you're happy with your adjustment, we're going to go up to Display, come down to Show, and then we can show our last selection. So show last hidden. By the way, that's Control-Shift-H if you're not sure. There's our hand again. There we go. I'm going to rinse and repeat, do the same thing for the other fingers. Control-Shift-I to invert, and then H to hide. Q to get rid of my tool, display, show last hidden, and then I'll jump onto the pinky. Control-Shift-I to invert, and then H to hide. Okay. Once you're happy with your fingers, we can go ahead and show everything. So show last hidden. That's looking a lot nicer. Let's go ahead and select the section of the hand we want for our glove. So I'll go to the top view, jump into face selection. So grab the hand, go to face. I'm going to select through the wrist here, up through the fingers, right about there. Okay, I'll jump into perspective and just double check the selection here. So I think that's good back here. Maybe I'll shorten it. So Control, and then click, and then double click to get rid of a line. On the thumb here, I think I'll hit Shift, double click to get that line all the way through. Check the fingers. I think that's good to there. I want this line on the middle finger. I think that's good there. And on the pinky, that's probably good there. I'll check underneath. I'll deselect this one. Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and duplicate the faces here. So hold Shift, hold right click, duplicate face. Let's go into object mode. I'll grab the body here. Make sure that's named body. Looks like it is. And then the glove, go ahead and grab that. I'll go ahead and name that glove. At the moment, our glove occupies the same space as our fingers, which isn't good. But we can't use any of our previous techniques to change that. So in the last, like we did with our vest, we selected the outer rings of the openings, and then we expanded the interior. That's not going to work here, and I'll show you why. So if I were to go through that process, so let me go to hit edge selection. I'll just grab these edges here. And this is the same as if you're using edges or vertices. So the end result is going to be the same. Control-Shift-I to flip it. And then you can see if I were to scale, as I'm scaling, parts of our glove are clipping through our finger. Do you see that? So this one is clipping through, that's clipping through, that's clipping through. It doesn't matter which selection you're using, the end result's the same. So if I were to use, vertices or faces or whatever, and then I were to try that, you can see it's the same. So what can we do? Well, so the simplest solution would be to extrude. So I'm going to go over to poly modeling, make sure I'm in object selection, and I will hit the extrude option. And then I will grab the blue arrow and I'll expand. And you can see now it expands around all of the digits very nicely. That's pretty cool. You can expand however far you like. Just don't go too far because the overlapping of our shape will cause problems later. So I'm going to go ahead and just dial my local Z translation down to 0.05. I think that's good for me. You are welcome to do more because you're the artist, but I think that's good. All right, I'll go ahead and select object mode. I'll grab the body. I'll hide that. Now when we extruded, we created an interior section of our glove. If you like having the interior double layer, you are welcome to keep it. I personally think that's not necessary. You shouldn't have things that you're not going to see. However, if your glove is going to be like an inventory item and you can look inside of it or whatever, or you're going to have more of a cloth effect with it, then having a double layer is fine. The issue is, why have extra material that you're never going to see, right? So if you're not going to see it, I would just remove it. To do that, I'm going to go to edge selection, and then I'm going to get the interior edge, double click, like that. I'll do that on the thumb as well. So hold Shift, just double click the interior edge. Hold Shift, double click the interior, again, again, and again. And then we're going to detach. So I'm going to go up to Edit Mesh, Detach, and then go to Object Selection, and then Mesh, Separate. So now we have our outer shell and our inner shell. I'm going to take the inner, and I will hit Delete. And there we go. So now I have my exterior glove all ready to go. Awesome. Last thing I'm going to do for my glove here is I'm going to bevel the edges. So I'm going to go over into edge mode. I'm going to get the outer edge this time, like so. And I'll do that in all of the digits. So outer edge, outer edge, outer edge, again and again. I'm going to use Shift right click to bevel. And then I'm going to drag the fraction all the way up to 1. And that's going to give me a really nice crease right here. But we do have overlapping geometry. So right here, if I grab this vertex and I move it, you can see there's an extra face in here, right? So I've just created some non-manifold geometry. What I need to do is merge it down. So I'll hit Object Mode. I'm going to come over to Edit Mesh, come down to Merge. And then I can just check it with vertex face. I think that's good. Yeah. All right. So now I got my glove here. Let's go ahead and name it. Edit, delete all by type, history. Now grab the glove geometry. Looks like it's hidden right back in here. Yay. So this one I'm going to go ahead and name. I'm going to do glove underscore L for left. And then if I expand out to here, you can see we have the other glove. I'm going to grab that guy and go ahead and just delete him. And then I'm going to mirror. So I'm going to grab this one, go to Mesh, come down to Mirror, get the box. I'm going to use World and then X. I do not want to combine. Go ahead and mirror. So now we have two gloves. And they should be identical. The new one, we can name that one glove underscore R. Okay, let's turn the body back on wherever you are. There it is. So now we have our gloves. And in the next one, we'll tackle the knee pads and the elbow. Okay, so save your work, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's Lame Duck Studios merch. Grab yourself a cool hat, sweater. You can always check out my Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content just for my patrons, as well as videos ad-free ahead of time. Or pick up one of my books. The Life and Times of Dinah Marton is about a criminal psychologist who moonlights as a serial killer, and The Guardian's Path of Ascension is about 5 teens who realize they have the power of gods and have to save the universe. Both of those are available on Amazon. There are links down in the description. And The Guardians is going to be converted into a comic book. I'm working with my artist Patrick. We're pretty excited. We're shooting for an October release. You can see some of the work that's been done here. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.